Welcome to Jamie's Wee Podcast, episode 6. These episodes are flying by. And on this episode, I am going to debunk some of the fears and misconceptions of the coronavirus and discuss why it's now the perfect time to travel. Hello, I hope you're all happy and healthy and having a great day wherever you are in the world. First of all, I just want to touch on episode 5 from last week, the interview that I done with Gav from Life Before Kids. I really want to say thank you for the response to that episode. It was an absolute nightmare getting uploaded. It was about 2 hours and 20 minutes. Which meant the file size was massive for the video and the audio. It transpires that Anchor FM, the platform that I use, the free hosting platform for the audio, you can only upload 250 megabytes, and the audio file was around 276 megabytes, which made it very difficult to upload. I had to try and find a file compressor. Most of them are not free on the internet. You know what it's like. Nothing's free on the internet, and every time I do an episode, it just seems to grow arms and legs. I always seem to run into problems, but the response was fantastic. It was well worth the 2 days uploading the video and the 24 hours of trying to find this file compressor. So delighted with that, and thank you again for the response. It's the first interview I've done without Ivana, so I was very nervous to see how people would react. So again, delighted. So thank you. Now, this week it's seen me travel back to Bali again on my own, and it's the travels to Bali which is what inspired me to give my tuppence worth on this coronavirus after seeing deserted airports, planes, and there's only a handful of people travelling, and the majority of them are wearing these masks. Now, for those of you who are watching the podcast, and there is a good couple of hundred every podcast, again, thank you for all you YouTubers who enjoy the visual part of this podcast. You'll notice that I'm sat in my bedroom at the guest house that I'm staying at. Now, if you do hear any noise, there is kids outside, there is a dog outside, you've also got, there's a lot of background noise in Bali, so hopefully it's not going to be too noisy, but maybe you can see my bed covers just there. You can just see my bed covers. They are loud and proud. I'm surprised you can't hear them. But yes, I'm here. I'm back in Bali. I'm in my room. It's very much a low budget production this episode. And Ivana is still in Perth, unfortunately, as she continues the treatment on her eye. She's got an appointment this week. We're hoping that she gets the best possible news would be that she maybe gets 3 or 4 weeks between that appointment and the next appointment, which means she can hopefully travel to possibly New Zealand. She wants to go to New Zealand and see her friends and family there. So fingers crossed, keep sending your best wishes to Ivana. She very much appreciates it. Now, the reason I'm back in Bali, obvious reasons. I love Bali. It feels like a home for me. I'm continuing the blog and the podcast. There's a lot of people here who I want to interview, so that is a plan. But one of the biggest reasons is I've actually got 2 friends here from Scotland. One of them is my best friend, one of my best friends, Ross. He's here with his fiancée Vicky, and I have always wanted to experience Bali with a best mate from home. I've always wondered what it'd be like to experience Bali through my friends' eyes, who they're obviously tourists. When we're here, it's like we live here. We've got our routines here, but they're here as tourists. So it's been fun. I spent yesterday with them, and it's fun to just see it through a different perspective. And they're actually away on a waterfall tour today, which means they have now seen more Bali waterfalls than me already. This is my 5th time in Bali, and can you believe I have still yet to see a waterfall? It's becoming a running joke, actually. It's now a running joke between us and our Bali friends that we've still not seen any waterfalls, and I kind of don't want to see one now, just to keep that running joke going. So, the coronavirus. Why am I talking about the coronavirus? There is literally no escaping this disease right now. Everywhere you look, you will see new cases reported in the news. There's panic buying of hand sanitizer, and there's people just walking about dressed in these masks everywhere you go. I wanted to talk about it because, as always, there are a lot of inaccuracies being reported, which ultimately causes panic and fear. And one thing I've learned in life is to always question the media. All they care about is, click-throughs online, selling newspapers, and that's all usually done through sensationalizing, easy for me to say, sensationalizing a subject and playing on people's emotional intelligence and fears. So do your own research and fact checks, especially when it comes to the mainstream media. And to use a quote from my good friend Craig Telfer, if the media were to come into this room right now, and they were drenched, they were soaking wet, and they were to tell me it is raining outside, I would have to go out and check for myself, just to be sure. Always question the media, all right? And it's also a trending topic and a great keyword in terms of SEO. So I'm hoping this episode spreads as quickly and as far and as wide as the coronavirus. Is it too soon to be cracking jokes about the coronavirus? Let's see. If you're listening to this on YouTube, then leave a wee comment below. Just let me know if it's too soon to be cracking jokes about the coronavirus. Listen, we can't take life too seriously, all right? You've got to joke about these things sometimes. So I've been reading up about the coronavirus. As I say, I'm never one to live in fear or to change the way I live due to these things unless I know all the hard facts and I've digested all the information at my disposal. So here are some of the common questions, the myths, and also advice that I found on my quest to educate myself on all things coronavirus. But before I start this, these obviously are, of course, my own views and findings regarding the coronavirus. I would actively encourage you to do the same and don't take what I say as verbatim. I'm in no way, shape or form a healthcare expert advisor, and I definitely don't have any qualifications, all right? So just do your own research when it comes to things like this. That's my wee disclaimer there, as I don't want you blaming me if you catch the coronavirus. I've got enough on my plate right now here without having your coronavirus-related death hanging over my head. So now that I've distanced myself from any legal proceedings, let's get into this episode. As I say, I'm just going to go through some questions that I found, like some common questions regarding the coronavirus, some of the myths that I've heard, some ridiculous myths that I've heard, and also some good facts and good advice that I came across on my travels through the internet and other media, just to try and find some truths and some facts, you know what I mean? So let's start with this one. Getting the coronavirus is a death sentence. Yes, people have died, all right? But 81% of people who have caught the coronavirus, it's mild. Some people who have caught the coronavirus haven't even shown any symptoms. 14% are moderate. So 14% of people show symptoms, usually flu-like symptoms. 5% are critical. And overall, out of everyone that catches the coronavirus, there's a 2% fatality rate. So it's a very low percentage. And 0.2% of those who die with the coronavirus are actually under the age of 50. So I'm sorry for anyone who might be listening over the age of 50. And, just be careful. Be very careful. So if you're actually under the age of 50 and you don't live in China, apparently there's the odds. There's more chance of you winning the lottery than dying from coronavirus. Now, knowing my luck, and I'm sure you'll think the same, it would just be your luck to catch the coronavirus rather than win the lottery. That's probably going to happen to me. I can imagine. There's more chance of me definitely catching the coronavirus than winning the lottery. And on the worst day so far, since this whole coronavirus thing started, 108 people died, and I think all of them were in China at that point. I think that was one of the early days. On the same day, cancer killed over 26,000 people. Heart disease killed over 24,000 people, diabetes killed over 4,000 people, and statistically, every single day, mosquitoes kill over 2,000 people. Us as humans kill other humans. There's over 1,000 deaths on that every day. Snakes kill over 100 people every day. And suicides kill more people every day than the coronavirus. So again, these are all things that are happening every day, but coronavirus is trending right now. It's very trendy, very sensationalist, a lot of clickbait headlines. But there's more chance of dying through all these other things than coronavirus. So why all of a sudden are we giving this so much more attention than all of these other killers? Well, pardon the pun, Chinese whispers. It's also glamorous clickbait headlines for the mainstream media. And there's a lot of misinformation on social media as well. And there's just like a regurgitation of information. Pretty much what I'm doing right now, but I've been very careful to fact check. Again, you'll find a lot of people on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. A lot of people will just, they'll regurgitate things that they've heard, and they might have changed things as they regurgitate them, so that things aren't always necessarily true. When you read it on, Susan from down the road has heard someone at the bakery talking about coronavirus, and she's put it as a Facebook status. Next minute, your gran's read that, and your gran's telling your mum about what she's read. You know what I mean? That's how it spreads on social media, and that's why it's getting so much more attention. Now, a good example of social media spreading misinformation, and this one went round like wildfire, and I actually believed this. Up until the point that I fact-checked it, and I looked into it, was that sales of the Corona beer were down by 38% due to the coronavirus. But after, as I say, some fact-checking, I actually read from the CEO of Corona, and he actually said that sales had risen by 5%, and he was very disappointed by that rumour being spread and circulated online. And again, that's the perfect example how misinformation can cause panic, it can cause fear, and it can even be defamatory towards businesses. People can lose their jobs, businesses can go out of business, and there's no doubt that this is having a huge impact on businesses, especially within the travel niche. Today I woke up to the news that Flybe has just announced that it's in administration, it's going out of business, and it's going to close due to the drop in sales, which is all down to coronavirus. Now, this is an airline which carries 8 million passengers a year between 56 different airports in the UK and Europe for over 40 years. And now they will cease to exist because of the coronavirus, but most of all because of the fear instilled in us by the media and social media, which is overhyped with misinformation. And again, 2,400 people will now lose their jobs from Flybe. That's 2,400 families which will now be affected in some way, shape or form through the coronavirus. I was also speaking to the owner of a very beautiful and a very popular hotel here in Bali the other night when we were playing football. Didn't know he played football, but there you go. Great player, by the way. Absolutely great player. Pietro, if you're listening, you're a great player, big man. I was talking to him, and he was saying that bookings are down. They're getting some cancellations, and he was there was a slight concern, there was a slight worry in his expression and in his tone and in his voice. You could tell that he was worried about this, and he actually encouraged me to use our platforms to try and educate people and to try and tell people it's actually safe to travel to an extent. Obviously, we'll go into more details, but he actually said to me, listen, you've got to try and encourage people and give people some information that this is actually a great time to travel. So he gave me the idea about on this topic for this episode. And us as travel bloggers, Ivana and I, we've noticed a drop in traffic as well. Obviously, if people aren't traveling, then they're not reading their blogs. And it's not just us. We're in a few Facebook groups with other travel bloggers, and they're all saying the same thing. They're all noticing a drop in traffic. So it's not good for business for us either. That's not the reason why I'm doing this podcast. You know, it'll bounce back, and you know, we don't make a lot of money from ad revenue and stuff on the blog. So, but it is affecting our traffic. So that's another reason. And this is just an unskilled theory or a prediction. I said this the other day to Ivana. I thought, we have not had a recession, a world recession, since 2008. And statistically, there should be a recession on average every 4 years, and varying levels of impact on the economy. So sometimes there'll be a recession that's really mild, and then there's sometimes it's like the Great Recession, or the recession we had in 2008, which was quite devastating for the economy and things like that. But I genuinely think that with this constant domino effect, businesses going out of business, people losing their jobs, the uncertainty, this could well push us into a recession, because we are long overdue a recession. So there is a fear. I've just got this hunch that this year we could head into a really serious recession. I hope I'm wrong, but it's not looking good right now, thanks to Mr. Coronavirus. Another myth: only Chinese people have the virus. It started obviously in China, but right now it's now everyone's virus. This is an infectious disease, so it has no respect for race, colour, or borders. And unfortunately, I've been seeing things in the media and social media, Chinese people being racially abused, Chinese kids at schools being racially abused and being shouted coronavirus, and it's horrible. As much as it started in China, you cannot stereotype Chinese people. Seen a video the other day of a Chinese girl. I think she was on the train in America, and the woman, when she sat down, the woman across from her raised her top to cover her mouth, and then the girl fake coughed, and the woman said something and darted up the train to get away from her, just because she was Chinese. So unfortunately, it is causing a lot of racial tension as well, this virus. And again, it did start in China, but it's everywhere. It's everywhere now. I think it's in a couple of dozen countries now. Highly infectious in northern Italy, highly infectious in Iran. It's made its way into the UK and even into Scotland. I never thought I'd see that disease making its way to Scotland, but it's even in Scotland now. So it is everyone's disease. It's not just China or Chinese people that have it anymore. Next one: the coronavirus is the most dangerous virus. That is not true. That is not true. And in fact, it's one of the lesser in terms of danger. Ebola, for example, has a much higher fatality rate, and as of yet, there has been at least 6,000 recoveries from the coronavirus, which is not often reported. It doesn't sell papers, but there's been thousands of recoveries. And again, the fatality rate of the coronavirus is very low, as low as 2% and 0.2% for those under 50. So it's not the most dangerous virus out there. Now let's go into the subject of the masks. You will have seen someone wearing a mask when you're out at Asda or Tesco, or you're on the train or the plane, or you're just out at a bar or a restaurant. You will have seen someone wearing a mask. Do they help you? Here we go. Here's some of the things I've found out about a mask. The masks that everyone's wearing. People don't wear them properly, for a start. You need to be trained, believe it or not. You need to be trained in wearing a mask so that it actually works properly. And most people that you see, in fact, I think 100% of the people that I've seen are wearing surgical masks. Now, these don't really do anything. They don't really do anything. The mask that you need is called an N95 mask, which is what healthcare workers wear. And I think that's the mask that you'll see on the news with the people at the hospital are cutting about with the big body suits on, and they've got that kind of respirator mask. That's the N95 mask. That is the one that you would need if you want it to be effective with coronavirus. Now this mask filters airborne particles with 95% effectiveness, so it's not even 100% effective, the N95 mask. And the N95 mask also needs to be fitted properly. If it's not fitted properly, it's not going to create the seal. And again, if you've got a beard, it won't seal. So again, it won't be effective. And apparently after you wear these N95 masks for a considerable amount of time, they become uncomfortable and hard to breathe through. And again, another fact about the N95 mask, they are more common for, or more made for people who are already infected, not for healthy people. So everybody that you see wearing these surgical masks in public, these masks have little to no effect. They are pretty much just a fashion statement or a comfort blanket, but it doesn't really help. It won't really help you prevent you catching this disease. You'll look cool, but that's as far as it goes. So that's the mask. So if you want to get yourself a mask, get yourself an N95 mask. You're going to have to get it fitted properly. You're going to have to shave that beard. Men and women need to get your beard shaved. And that's it. And it's only if you really catch the disease, not to prevent you catching it. So that's all you need to know about the masks situation. Another favourite one that you hear a lot is the coronavirus came from bat soup. Apparently that is not true. It started in Wuhan, in a wet market. And conspiracy theorists will say that the virus was deliberately created, and I am a very open-minded person. I love a conspiracy theory. I'm one of these people who will look up a conspiracy theory on YouTube and end up in a 3-hour rabbit hole looking into 9/11 and, other things, other conspiracy theories. And this has been said in the past that, diseases are man-made to try and reduce the population and for a whole host of other reasons. So there's a lot of conspiracy theorists that are saying that China or America or someone created this virus to try and wipe out a large part of the population and to create fear and panic. When people are scared and people are living in fear, they're also distracted from things that are really going on. So again, keep an open mind, but apparently not. Apparently this disease is way beyond what any human can create. And apparently the diseases such as coronavirus can be created from things such as climate change, ecological factors, agricultural factors, and human behaviour. So this could just be nature's way of saying, stop ruining the planet, or we're going to send some diseases to wipe you all out. So there's a good chance that it has been nature that created the virus. No bat soup. I have seen a lot of things, again, on the internet, on Twitter, of some of the things that they eat in China, and wow, I don't even want to describe some of the things that I've seen people eat in China. But again, I got dragged into that one, thinking that it might have been one of these bat soups that someone's been eating, but again, apparently not. So that can be debunked as well. Now, there's been a lot of people, I've seen people on social media reporting that they've stopped getting things sent from China. A lot of people order stock from places such as Alibaba on China, and a lot of things just generally come from China. I tried to buy something, I think it was like an adapter for this microphone from Apple, the Apple store in Perth the other week, and they said there's going to be at least a 3 or 4 week wait for this adapter because there's nothing coming from China. They're not getting a lot of stock from China. So, and the theory or the things I have seen, one of the myths or the fears that I found online and that I have seen is that you can actually get sick from a package sent from China. People fear that you can get sick from a package sent from China. Now there's tiny, tiny percentage chance that could happen. Tiny percentage chance, because the coronavirus is still very new. They're still unsure, like 100% about how it can transfer to humans. But what they do know is that it's very highly unlikely, because of the time that it takes from a package to arrive from China. And the disease is spread by droplets. Now, any contaminated droplets would unlikely survive outside the human body, never mind travelling from China to wherever you are. So again, that one can probably be debunked, that myth about the fact that you might get sick from a package sent from China. Now, this was an interesting one, because we're seeing it in the news that countries are stopping flights coming from certain countries, talking of like closing the borders to help stop the spread of the virus and stuff like that. Now, historically, travel bans due to viruses, and again in the past, have actually proven to be ineffective, and it actually just causes more fear and chaos other than anything else. And it also causes people who may have the virus, who may potentially have the virus or do have the virus, it can force some people to become reluctant about coming forward, because of the fear and the chaos caused by things such as closing borders. There are plenty of places online, credible sources, that you can get so much information from, factual information, such as the Centers for Disease Control's website, and just refer to your own healthcare advisor about things about the spreading of the virus and stuff like that, and if there are border closings or travel bans and stuff like that, just refer to your local health advisor or check out your governing body's websites. There's loads of credible sources. Just don't look on The Sun or the Daily Mail or Piers Morgan's Twitter. You know what I mean? Just don't listen to these people. Go to the credible sources if you want more information. The next one, the virus only affects older people. This is kind of true. Again, we went through the facts earlier and the percentages. It affects everyone, even children. But the older you are, the more likely that you will already suffer from some form of ailment or disease, which makes you more susceptible to becoming fatally ill from the coronavirus. So yeah, if you are older, or you know anyone that's older and they're already suffering from low immunity, or they've got like diabetes, just anything like this, they're the ones that need to be more careful. But if you're young, fit and healthy, it should, and you do catch the coronavirus, it should pass. It should come and go, just like any other flu. Next one, the coronavirus is the same as SARS. SARS is known, or otherwise known as severe acute respiratory syndrome. Now, it's actually the same family as SARS. And SARS is also a coronavirus disease. There are now 3 known coronaviruses to cause more severe infections. And one is SARS, one is coronavirus, and one is, I don't know, you maybe not have heard of this one. This is one that I hadn't heard of. And it's MERS, which is Middle East Respiratory Syndrome. So there's apparently 3 coronaviruses. And they're all kind of like cousins, distant cousins. So SARS is actually more severe in terms of fatality rate. So discussed earlier, 2% of people right now are dying from coronavirus, whereas SARS, 10% of people who caught SARS passed away. So just because there's a large amount of deaths right now with the coronavirus doesn't mean that it's a lethal virus. Of course, it's dangerous. Of course, there is the fatality rate. There is a fatality rate of 2%. So there is a danger there. But it just means that the high volume of deaths just means that there's a lot of people catching it. But another example of a similar virus was the seasonal flu, which only just started last October. And there's been 10,000 deaths of the seasonal flu since last October. So there you go. And have you heard anything about that reported? I'd never heard about that until I'd done my research on the coronavirus. So there you go. Even the seasonal flu has killed over 10,000 people between October and this point. Now this is my favourite one. The coronavirus has something to do with the Corona beer. Again, we spoke about the reports online about sales of Corona gone down 38%, which subsequently were lies. So that's not true. It's got nothing to do with the beer. Did you know that actually the word Corona is Latin for crown? Due to the way that the virus actually looks under the microscope, it looks like it's wearing a crown. So that's why it's called the coronavirus, and I'm assuming that's why the beer's called Corona beer. Crown beer. Now I might actually test a theory out that I just made up in my head, that Corona beer may actually prevent catching the coronavirus. I'll report back with the results on that. I'll maybe try and find some Corona beers here in Bali and see how effective they are and keep away the coronavirus. Another one, and this is one I've seen again, people fear is that your pet could give you coronaviruses. Up until this point, there are no cases where pets are transmitting the virus to their owners. Apparently, you're more likely to give it to your pet than the other way around. So just be careful. If you catch coronavirus, make sure you keep your pets away. You don't want to transfer it to your pets. Look after your pets, you know. In terms of treatments, I've read that antibiotics prevent and treat the coronavirus. Viruses and bacteria are two different things. You use antibiotics for bacterial infections, but for viruses, you would use antiviral medications. So antibiotics will not work, will not prevent coronavirus. So if you're taking antibiotics because you think you might have it and you're scared of it going to the hospital, it's not going to work. So yeah, that's a myth. Now, let's talk about how you can prevent catching the coronavirus. Now, I'm a big advocate that I believe that we've become very soft as humans, and I think that we are sometimes over-hygienic, and it really lowers your immune system because you're always so clean, everything's so overly clean, everything's washed, people are always washing their hands, and I think as humans we are sometimes overly clean, overly hygienic. But with this, you've got to be careful. Obviously, I'm sure you know, one of the best ways to prevent catching the coronavirus is to wash your hands frequently. Now, if you wash your hands frequently with like an alcohol-based hand wash, or soap and water, then that should be enough to help prevent coronavirus, or at least it should go a long way in helping prevent you getting the coronavirus. Apparently that you'll struggle to find hand sanitizer anyway, so you might just need to buy some soap and water. You've got to love panic buying. It's like doomsday. I've never understood that, but there you go. Grab yourself some hand sanitizer if you can get it. Another one is maintain social distancing. So maintain at least 1 metre between yourself and anyone else, especially for coughing and sneezing. Droplets are the main way that this disease finds its way between humans. So if someone's obviously coughing and sneezing, then there's a high chance that you could catch the coronavirus, especially if they have it. So don't get too close to anyone, especially if they're coughing and sneezing. When I actually came to Bali, part of they gave me this yellow form, like a medical screening form, and one of the questions was, what's your seat number on the plane? And I can only assume that is because if I was to catch coronavirus, or someone sitting maybe 2 rows in front, 2 rows behind, if one of them caught it, then they would contact me to let me know that, someone in close proximity has the virus. So yeah, if you really want to try and prevent it, just don't go near anyone. Just stay indoors, or when you're out and about, just keep away from everyone, especially those who are coughing. Practice respiratory hygiene. This is just like covering your mouth, cover your nose when you're sneezing and you're coughing. Get some hankies, load up in some hankies. Just make sure you're just not like coughing and spluttering and sneezing into the atmosphere. Whether you're healthy or not, whether you've got the coronavirus or not, just have good hygiene. That's an easy one. There's nothing worse than seeing somebody just fucking sneezing out into the open, or coughing out into the open, especially in public places where there's coronavirus or not. So I just practice some good hygiene when you're out and about, especially. And this is a big one. For me, it's avoid getting stressed out about the whole thing. Panic and fear is a stressor. And stress can lower your immune system, which can make you susceptible to this disease. One of our mates kind of woke Ivana up to this new age, this modern medicine of practitioners who say that physical ailments are usually manifestations of the mind. So by having a healthy mind, you have a lower risk to things such as coronavirus. Obviously, there's a lot of doubters about that. And again, that's something I really need to read up on more. But it's very interesting, and it makes a lot of sense that a lot of physical injuries, such as say you've got a sore back, because one of our friends is actually a chiropractor to trade, and he's now getting into this more about the medicine, about like how he can cure a bad back by discussing traumas that you may have had, or something in the mind that's maybe causing this pain. So yeah, if you're getting stressed, or you're panicking, or you're fearful, then you really are opening yourself up to not just coronavirus, but other forms of disease and things like that. So just chill it. Again, if the news is stressing you, don't watch the news. If social media is stressing you, get off social media. Just avoid things that stress you out or cause you to have panic or fear. And if you really are worried, just make sure you're talking to people. Don't keep this worry or stress inside. Listen, if you think your opinion's daft, or you think what you're scared of sounds daft, just talk about it. Talk to someone about it, whether you think it's crazy or not. Don't keep it inside. And the best way is just to maintain a usual healthy lifestyle, eat well, sleep well, exercise, and keep your alcohol intake to a minimum. I know that's rich coming from me. I'm not actually drinking whiskey in this episode. I'm on the water. But I keep your alcohol intake to a minimum. Just live healthy, and that should help prevent catching the coronavirus. So I'm going to get onto the part now about the clickbait title that I've created. Why, oh why, does the coronavirus make this the perfect time to travel? Because I'm telling you, you will not find flights, accommodation, tours, and attractions as cheap as you will find them now. When I booked my flight from Perth, Australia to Bali, it's a 3.5 hour flight. It's usually well over £100 on a cheap day, but flights were going for as little as £62. And there was so much space on the plane. It was you're basically getting 2 or 3 seats to yourself. So in terms of flights, it's cheap, and there's plenty of space. So there's never been a good time as there is now to book a flight. Obviously, if you're allowed to travel to a certain country, depending on travel bans and stuff like that. And my Scottish friends who are here right now, they came via Singapore. And we were talking about Singapore because Ivana and I went there, I think, 2 or 3 years ago. And we said, it can be quite busy, and, it's a well-developed city, a country. It's very densely populated and stuff. And they said, quiet, so quiet. They were walking around gardens by the bay, the restaurants and stuff like that. Everyone was just really quiet. The only thing was they had like I think it was like a brunch booked, which was cancelled due to people, a lot of people just cancelling because they were scared to go into like public places where there's going to be a lot of people, so they had to cancel the brunch. But everywhere else was just quiet. And as I mentioned before, just hotels are losing bookings, and it's quite scary actually. You're going to see a lot of hotels going out of business, I think. So you're going to get a good deal at this point in time. You're going to get great deals on not just flights, but you're going to get great deals on hotels. You'll get great deals on tours. You'll get great deals on pretty much anything travel and leisure. So let's just keep the economy thriving. Let's keep our travel and tourism industry alive, and just alleviate these fears which is created by the media. And let's just continue to travel and have fun and enjoy it to the best of your ability. And if you're under 15, you're in generally good health, and you've got all these prevention steps in place, then it's the perfect time to travel. And that basically rounds up all I've got to say on this matter about the coronavirus. A very different episode, but I just thought I'd get my tuppence worth in. I hope I've managed to educate you in some way, shape or form. But ultimately, I hope I've made you skeptical about things that you read in the media regarding this virus, because, oh God, they will have you fearing this thing like it's doomsday, like it's the end of the world. It's so easy to get caught up in the media. So I hope I've just made you at least question some of the things that you hear. That's all I wanted to do with this episode. So I'm just going to talk through some of the value and the talking points and things to take away from this relatively short episode. It's only, what are we on, about 40 minutes? Wow. Again, I want to do more trending topics, so this has been fun. It's been a wee bit different from what I've done before. I'm not too sure what you'll have thought of this, but anyway, here's some of the value and the main talking points to take away from this episode. Question everything and do your own research, especially when it's the media that's involved. Continue to travel and live a normal life if you are fit, healthy, and you're ready with all your safety precautions, and unless you're told otherwise by the government. Please keep reading our travel blog before we go to business. Please, we need the traffic. Please keep just check our blog. Just have a wee look every now and again. That would be lovely. But the main one for me, again, I'm all about this mental health and the impact of mental health, and it is having an impact on people's mental health. So don't stress, don't worry, don't live in fear. It's just not worth it. And again, it'll only heighten your chances of getting this coronavirus. So don't stress yourself out, all right? It's going to be fine. It's going to be okay. And that's it. Again, I say that this is a very short episode. I can't believe 40 odd minutes is a short episode, but here we are. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm kind of scared to post this one. Thank you to Stephanie, my lonely patron who continues to show support. And whilst I'm here in Bali, I'm planning on lining up as many quality interviews as I possibly can. Again, there's a few people here. I want to try. I'm at the point now where it's like I'm doing interview week by week, and I'm kind of like living week by week. And I don't want that. I want to try and like get some in the bank. I want to try and get like maybe 4 or 5 interviews in the bank, so I'm not constantly chasing. And it's getting to Thursday or Friday, and I'm like, shit. I've not got a podcast episode to post, so I'm hoping to get like a good bank of good quality podcast interviews in here. So that's the plan whilst I'm here. And again, I say it, I would like to know your thoughts on this episode, whether it's good, bad or indifferent. Listen, I'm a big boy, I've got thick skin. If you think this was shite, then tell me it was shite, but please utilise the comments, send me a DM on Instagram, whatever, just engage with me. I really appreciate when people have been feeding back on the podcasts, whether it's in the comments on YouTube, DMs on Instagram or whatever. Just let me know what you think. And please, if you are watching on YouTube, be kind enough to give this video a thumbs up. Even if you hated it, give it a thumbs up. Don't be a dick. I've got a 100% record of thumbs up so far. I've yet to get a thumbs down, so don't dare be that person. Let's keep this run going. Episode 6 of 100% thumbs ups. So if you are watching, please, I would really appreciate that. And subscribe if you've not already subscribed, then please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And that's it. Thanks for joining me. Interested to see how this one goes. I'm gonna get back to it. So this is a wee podcast for big subjects and personalities, sprinkled with a wee bit of Scottish humour. See you later.